What's up, everybody? Drew Manchu back at it again with another face-to-face video. My weekly series where I go through my stack of comics I picked up and I let you guys know what I thought about them. Now, I've had a couple huge weeks in a row. I missed a video last week. Last weekend was Baltimore Comic Con. This week was a huge release with Legacy, and I also picked up a whole lot of back issues and a bunch of garbage along the way. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this week and kind of narrow it down and only cover a few things. Not going to go over my entire stack because, to be honest, I don't know what's from last week, I don't know what's from this week, and I don't know what I picked up where along the way. Big blur. So first, let's go ahead and get into some of the books that came out this week. Saga number 47 came out this week and is the fantastic tale of the interrogation of the Will. If you've been reading this story, you know that the Will has had his ups and his downs, and he's been a badass along the way, but his pudgy older self is getting the screws turned on him by this lady right here, who is some sort of mole-faced weirdo. This story is fantastic, and I like where it's going. I love where it's been, and the dialogue between these two characters is amazing. So if you've been reading Saga, this will be more of the same for you. If you haven't checked out Saga yet, this isn't really the best jumping on point, but I do suggest you go out there and you pick up the trades. Saga number 47, big win for me. Action Comics number 988, this beautiful lenticular cover here shows the destruction of Krypton and Jor-El and his wife standing over baby Kal-El before his launch. See them disappear. There we go. Getting blown to shit. Good stuff here on the cover here. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the interior. The art is solid, I'll give it that, but I am not a fan of where this Oz Effect storyline is going. Spoiler alert, Mr. Oz is Jor-El, Superman's father. Really? I don't know. Is it going to be proven to be somebody else? Who knows? What is his motivation? Very thin. I hate humanity because they're not good enough for you story here. If this is what Jeff Johns has in store for us with Rebirth, then I'm not interested. It's just... it's flimsy. It's flimsy, and I don't care for it. The characterization of Jor-El is a little bit more judgmental than you would think he'd be, considering the trials and tribulations he went through on Krypton. I think that we're reaching here, and I'm not a fan of this reveal. I'm not a fan of this story overall, and unfortunately, this is just another beautiful lenticular cover full of fluff in the aftermath of Rebirth. On the same note, Detective Comics came out this week, and we're finally getting to see what happens to Tim Drake. Now, we know it was Jor-El. He has a conversation with Jor-El. We get a nice little backstory of how he became Robin, which is a really nice refresher. I did enjoy that, but, I mean, why Tim Drake? It makes no sense whatsoever, and they don't even attempt to make you understand. Tim Drake being taken off the board means absolutely nothing still at this point, and they're not telling you anything. We do get a Tim Drake of the future who is apparently a Batman with guns. I'm not sure if that's something that's been in continuity before. I'm not familiar with it, so let me know if it's something that I've missed along the way. I'm not the biggest DC historian, but I don't know anything about that. And they're going to fight Doomsday with guns. This is just... yeah. Again, it's flimsy. It's flimsy. All the stuff you do with Rebirth, you set up the Watchmen stuff, you set up the button turns out to be nothing. We're waiting to see what happens with Doomsday Clock, and in the meantime, this Mr. Oz stuff is the only things that we're really getting any answers in, and they're not giving us any answers. I understand slowly doling out the information to keep the story going, but this is just, it's just bullshit, in my opinion. I don't care about any of it anymore. I'm just like, you know, oh, Mr. Oz is Jor-El. Who cares? And not to mention that this book is fucking ugly. The art in this book is atrocious. The faces of Tim Drake throughout this story, it's just like, what? It's like a toddler drew it. It's awful. I suggest that if you're reading Batman, go ahead and stick with the main title, The War of Jokes and Riddles. Has some good stuff going on in it right now. Detective Comics is just more of a Watchmen-related dick tease, and I don't care for it. Conversely, DC Dark Knight's Metal Batman the Murder Machine was absolutely fantastic. Metal has been great so far. You get a lot of Greg Capullo drawing a bunch of crazy shit that Scott Snyder comes up with, and this has the Batman slash Cyborg unit, the Murder Machine. And if you told me I was going to care about a Cyborg book, I'd tell you you were wrong. But this one is definitely cool enough to grab and keep my attention. This nice shiny metallic cover here as well to fit the motif. I like what's going on in Metal, and hopefully DC gets its shit together with this Rebirth stuff, so I can enjoy that as well. But Metal will have to tide me over for now. And Metal is so good that I am recommending a Suicide Squad book. That is right, Harley Quinn is in a book, and I'm telling you, you should buy it. The art in this issue is absolutely phenomenal, and it's a really nice take on what's going on with the Gotham Resistance. First we got Teen Titans with Damian and company, then we got Nightwing, now we got the Suicide Squad joining the fray. Green Arrow is along for the ride, and this is a lot of fun, and at the end we get a little dose of Mr. Terrific, who will be showing up in the next issue, and I'm excited for where that's going. The last few issues of Generations this week from Marvel, we got the Spider-Man Generations book here, Miles and Peter. This is a little look into the personal life of Peter Parker and how hard being Spider-Man hits him on a personal level, and showing Miles that it is a personal thing, and that is going to hopefully inform his character moving forward. The art in this book was a throwback style, not really my cup of tea, and you can totally miss this one. It is not essential in any way, shape, or form, but I did have some fun with it. Generations Captain America here. We get Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers in this book. This is a Sam Wilson book. I would say that if you were a fan of Secret Empire, keep reading this, because this is Nick Spencer kind of closing out his deal with the Sam Wilson Captain America character. His journey through the Vanishing Point was completely different than any other character we've seen so far, and kind of gave him the opportunity to live out his life in a different way. And at the end of this, he does pass the shield back to Steve Rogers, so we get a reasoning for his transition back to Falcon. And I think it's going to be pretty cool moving forward. If you weren't reading this story and you weren't a huge fan of Secret Empire, you can skip it. It's, again, nothing that's too intricate to what's going forward in Legacy, in my opinion. But I enjoyed this. I thought it was really cool, and I enjoy Spencer's writing and his take on Sam Wilson, so it's definitely a buy for me. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 23 marks the end of this story arc here. We have an epilogue coming up in the next issue, but as you can see on there, partners no more. Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl go their separate ways. What are we going to see from this pair in the future? I'm excited to figure out where this goes. I absolutely love this series, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and one of my favorite cosplays I ran into at Baltimore Comic Con this week was a little girl as Moon Girl, her dad in a red T-Rex costume. It was super cool. Maybe I'll throw the picture up here if I'm not too lazy to do so. But one of my favorite memories from this past weekend. Really cool stuff. I really enjoy this book. This is just, it's just awesome fun. Thanos number 11 right here. I have the Venomized Villains cover. I did not pick up the regular cover because of budgetary constraints. I'll probably go back and get it. Here you got Mistress Death as Venom making out with Thanos. It's pretty awesome. Inside this book, we have the battle between Thanos and the Phoenix-powered Thane, and it's a knockdown, drag-out battle. It's super aggressive action. I absolutely love this book. The art is phenomenal. I'm a Thanos mark. He's definitely my spirit animal. I enjoyed this, and I think you will too. Thanos number 11. Cable number 5. I'm not super enjoying this series. I'm going to give it through the first story arc before I decide whether or not I'm dropping it. But this Venomized Villains cover here is Rob Liefeld's take on a Venom Deadpool attacking Cable from behind. This is super classic and beautiful in its own right, and I absolutely love it. Had to pick up this cover. Spider-Gwen number 24. I see everybody online showing off this book. This is the Gwenom. She's got the symbiote. What's going on inside this book? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Haven't had the time to. This cover here is, you know, it's hit or miss depending on how you look at it. I think it's got some really nice aesthetics to it, but she does have a little wonky hand and her face is a little pig-faced, so, you know, not a super fan of the cover altogether, but excited to have this book and excited to give it a crack a little bit later. Been loving this series, even the one-off issues, and I think that her with the symbiote will be very interesting stuff. The Mighty Thor number 23, again, I haven't had a chance to crack this open and really read through it, but this London Calling Clash cover is absolutely beautiful, and I don't know if there's going to be a better rock and roll variant out there. Love what Marvel's doing with their variants lately. Loved the Jim Lee trading card variants. I absolutely loved the Mary Jane variants. The Venomized Villain variants are cool. The hip-hop covers were great. And these rock and roll covers with the albums coming out there, that's some good stuff. Really enjoying these, and this is another one that I had to have. Now, I skimped on a couple of covers this week for budgetary constraints, but I did not skimp on the Marvel Legacy covers. This beautiful piece right here. Fantastic looking there. Scotty Young Love right here. Gotta get the baby variant. This Women of Marvel variant is one of my favorites. Love the line work on this. I think Moon Girl looks super awesome. Squirrel Girl on there. I got that really, really cool looking hair going on Medusa in the back. Love the colors on this as well. Fantastic cover. Got that Terry Dodson party variant here. Beautiful cover here. Something absolutely beautiful in the simplicity of this cover here by Greg Land. It's a classic looking Iron Man, Thor, and Cap. Love that. Now the regular covers in with my brother right now, letting him read the story. I think he will really enjoy it, but I did pick up this lenticular cover as well. Super gorgeous. Now, I showed you all those covers and I absolutely love them, but let's talk a little bit more about the story of Legacy. We're getting a lot of backlash on the internet about, you know, Legacy is copying off of Rebirth, doing the same thing DC did. And you know what? I don't really buy it. I'm a huge fan of what happened in Legacy, so let's talk about some of the pros so far. Number one, the Avengers BC. This is a fantastic idea. I love the team. Odin is super awesome. Get some really great stuff with Starbrand on there, Iron Fist, the Black Panther, the Ghost Rider riding a mammoth, and there is a big problem afoot, and that is a celestial buried on Earth now at this point, getting ready to be uncovered in the future. We get Robbie Reyes, the Ghost Rider, being featured in this book, and considering his book was not very good the second time around, I'm excited to see him doing something worth doing. He is fighting with the Starbrand, which is a cool callback to the new universe, and also some of the stuff that they did with Starbrand in Hickman's run on Avengers. Really like the fact that they kind of delved into every little corner of the Marvel Universe to let you know what's going on. We get Riri Williams as Ironheart teaming up with Sam Wilson and Thor and doing some Avengery stuff. Loki is up to his old tricks. He's looking for a mystery item with the help of the Frost Giants. That's super cool. We've got Wolverine coming back, which is awesome. I absolutely love that. Him cracking the adamantium shell that he was encased in and arriving back. Love that. Super awesome. But more than that, we get the return of the first family of Marvel with the appearance of Franklin and Valeria Richards at the end of this book. This says that Marvel will be going in a different direction than they have in the past, and I'm super excited about it. We got some classic Marvel fanfare in there, and we also get some great writing, some fantastic characterizations, and the art in this book is top notch. I super love this, and I like where Marvel's going moving forward. That being said, I didn't have a problem with where Marvel was going in the first place. I really enjoyed Secret Empire. I think that a lot of what happened in Marvel Now 2.0 was really good storytelling, and you know, a few bad books here and there. It doesn't really ruin the whole bunch for me, considering how many books Marvel releases on their monthly schedule. So many books, so if there's a few that I don't care for, it doesn't skew my entire enjoyment of the line. I really enjoyed it, and I think that you will too. Pick up Marvel Legacy. It is the starting point for everything that's going to be going on moving forward. If you were a fan of what DC did with Rebirth, I think you'll be a fan of what Marvel's doing with Legacy. If you're not a fan of Marvel, then, you know, this might be a good chance to get on and give it a try. If you were a fan and you've given up on them, this is the perfect time to come back and see what they have in store. There's a lot going on with Marvel right now. They're skewing away from the events. They're going more to focus on the individual issues, and I think that that is going to really pay off in the long run. So for my money, I think Marvel Legacy is worth checking out. Like I said, guys, I went to Baltimore Comic Con this past weekend, and I got some really cool stuff. Picked up a couple t-shirts. I got this awesome Headlocker t-shirt. Bought this from Andrew McLean himself. Fantastic stuff there. Got a couple great Rick and Morty t-shirts. Picked up a couple of really great issues of Detective Comics for my run that I hadn't had yet. Got some of those Jim Lee trading card variants that I didn't pick up. And I'm not going to share just about everything, but I did get a couple books graded on site, and I will like to share those with you right now. I got Superman 10. This is the first meeting of the Super Sons. This is a 9.8 signature series signed by Peter J. Tomasi. He was at the show. I took the opportunity to talk to him for a little bit about how much I love what he's doing with Superman and Super Sons, and how much he has ruined Damian Wayne by being the only person that can write him properly. That got a nice chuckle from the man. I really like how this came out. Really nice clear signature there on Superman's blue, and a 9.8. You can't ask for anything more than that. I also pulled a 9.8 on Super Sons #1. This is the Dustin Nguyen variant, and this is a signature series signed by both Tomasi and Nguyen as well. We'll see if we can see that. And he's got the gold running down the side. There's that Nguyen there. Really love this take on the Super Sons. I've been picking up all of Nguyen's variants, and wanted to have this #1 signed by both the cover artist and the writer, and went ahead and made that happen. 9.8, can't be mad at that. I also got Dustin Nguyen to sign this Superman 80-page giant from 2011. It pulled a 9.4. I'm not really looking to flip this. This is just one of my favorite covers that he's ever done. Really like all the nods to Superman over the years. I think the way that it's colored is absolutely beautiful. And I paid $0.25 for this. I got this in a quarter bin. So the fact that it pulled a 9.4, I'm a little happy about that. I knew that the corner was a little bit smushed here, and that's probably the only detraction on it, but like I said, I wanted to get this signed and slabbed by Nguyen while I could. It's one of my favorite covers. It's absolutely beautiful, and I can't get enough of it. So got it slabbed. 9.4, can't be mad at that for a book I got out of a quarter bin. Absolutely awesome. I also met Greg Pak, and I got him to sign the Weapon H debut in Totally Awesome Hulk 22, and that is a way to be graded. I got him on Sunday, so I couldn't do on-site grading on that one. So we'll see how that comes back, but it's only been out of the Mylar once to have him sign it, so I can't see it pulling anything less than a 9.6. Hopefully we'll get that 9.8. We'll see what happens. That's going to do it for this week, guys. Make sure you're out there collecting what you love, sharing what you find. I'm Drew Manchu, and I'll see you guys next time.